morning, world.
Good morning.
So, Cedric, I know you're excited. We got some more comments. We like to read your comments. Another one on our Joiner Lucas, I'm not racist. So,
I always look forward to those.
So we have a lot of great comments. So here's two that showed up right on top of each other. One says, Cedric is Clayton Bigsby in the flesh. And the other one says, two white guys reacting to I'm not racist. I guess he's white. This shite reminds me of Clayton Bigsby. So,
for those of you who don't know who Clayton Bigsby is, Dave Chappelle plays a character. It's not Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, it's on his own show.
It's on his own show where he plays a black guy who doesn't know he's black because he's been blind since birth. So I guess I'm a black guy. I tell you what, I for doggone sure, I wish they would stop these blacks get all these privileges and special privileges, and that's all they ever want. They first they're gonna want a store called Coons R Us, and then they're gonna develop new dances called Jungle Bunnies and Hippity Hop. All that hippity hop and blasting their music as they run down the street, disturbing peaceful white folks like us in neighborhoods. Not neighborhoods, it's them coons that live in neighborhoods. We live in residential districts, and I'm getting sick and tired of them coming through our residential districts with all the schools and everything. I'm sick and tired of them.
What are you talking about?
What do you mean? What I'm talking about, Brian?
What are you ranting about?
All these black folks, they want all these, they don't want special privileges. They want privileges above and beyond what all those white folks are getting. White power. White power.
Cedric, you're black.
Brian, I do the funniest stuff here. You're the straight man, and to make a joke like that is completely insulting to my character. Cedric. Don't you ever say that again, or we're going to have a fight. I know you're right there.
I'm over here.
You say that again, we're going to come to blows.
Come on, guys. Cedric, that's our whole show. Cedric and Brian. Have you heard of a white Cedric before? You're black, Cedric.
I get the feeling you ain't joking.
I'm not joking. I wish you could see our logo, but I know...
We've been friends for 20 plus years, and you are just now telling me that I'm one of them Negroes?
Yes, Cedric, you're black.
What kind of friendship is this? You've been lying to me for 20... Let me get up out of here. I'm so sick and tired of this place. Going out the door here.
Why are you leaving? Why are you leaving?
Because there is no way in tarnation I am going to sit here and work with a nigger lover. Okay. And Brian.
Oh, dude, I had the weirdest. I just started daydreaming.
About what?
That after I read the Clayton Bigsby, I you were sitting next to me, but you were like Clayton Bigsby.
What?
Yeah, you were Cedric, but you didn't know you were black.
I can't even imagine. That's weird. Dude, you got to get it together. You need to go and have your mind checked or something.
But the funny thing is, then you didn't want to hang out with me anymore because I hung out with a black guy.
That's stupid. That's stupid. All right, you guys, stay tuned for our next topic today. We're talking about crime. Stay tuned. I'm Cedric.
And I'm Brian. And this is Cedric and Brian. Today's episode, I know we've been doing a lot of reactions. In fact, if you did not catch our last reaction with Ren, hi Ren, please, you can pause this, go back. This kid is uber talented, and we're going to be doing more reactions. We're just going to grab one, and then we're just going to react to it.
Okay. We have a few friends that work in the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation, the CDCR.
Should I post this on Leaving California sites also? Is this another reason to leave California?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So I may have to post. So all of you that are watching us from California, there's probably not many of you. You're probably already moved, but
yes. So our
apparently this is another reason to leave.
Yes, our illustrious emperor, Gavin Newsom. And as you guys already know, we're here in California, and we know that things that start off in California and New York
I'm leaving.
trickle over into the other states.
Trinkle?
Trickle?
Trinkle. He's making up words, man.
Like that. But so Gavin Newsom gave out the budget, and so California is just taxed beyond belief, and then you have some states that are heavily taxed, but you got high benefits. High taxes, high benefits. And you have other states that are low taxes, low benefits. California, we're one of the few states, and probably New York is the only one, where it's high taxes, low benefits. So we're going to get into this a little bit.
Well, not if you're homeless. You get good benefits.
Yeah, you're going to be homeless. You should be in the sun. I can't think of another place to be in the Southern California. Yeah. So, again, we have a few friends that work in the correctional facility, and I asked them, I said, can you get me a copy?
Did you meet him there when you were...
That's racist.
I didn't. Did I say anything? Did I say anything about him being
Clayton
black?
Clayton Bigsby would not permit that.
Wow, you just assume.
Jeez. So I'm going to read this executive summary here in California of 2021. Why am I reading 2021? Because 2022 just ended. It's probably going to take them the first quarter of 2023 to compile the 2022 numbers. So these are 2021. So it says. Crime in California 2021 presents an overview of the criminal justice system in California. Current year statistics provided by California law enforcement agencies are presented for reported crimes, arrests, dispositions of adult felony, arrests, adult probation, criminal justice personnel, blah, 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 all that stuff there. So here are some of the crime rates per 100,000 population. The violent crime rate increased 6.7% in 2021. What's a violent crime, you ask? I'm glad you asked. A violent crime is a victim is harmed or threatened with violence. Violent crimes include rape, sexual assault, robbery, assault, and murder. That went up 6.7% from 2020 to 2021.
Dude, I wonder how much it went up from 2019 to 2020, because 2020 was the summer of love.
Wait, and like you always say,
am I pimping it?
Don't steal my thunder.
Okay.
You told me to run with this. Let me run with it. God.
I'm reacting to this, so it is a reaction.
It's a reaction. I said just sit there and be quiet for once. We'll see how long that lasts. The property crime rate increased 3% in 2021 from 2.14 to 2.178. What's a property crime? A victim's property is stolen or destroyed without the use of threat or force against the victim. Property crimes include burglary and theft, as well as vandalism and arson. So all these crime rates went up. Violent crime went up. Property crime went up, homicide went up, and I'm thinking, how do you have a homicide if you don't have a violent crime?
Yeah,
but they're in different categories. Burglary rate went up, the rape rate went up, motor vehicle theft went up, and the arson rates went up. And all this is in conjunction with the fact that our illustrious administration is saying that there is no crime. We're making it up. Things are going well. You guys need to calm down. So where is all that money going? Prison capacity and closure. And this was really irritating our friends who are in the correctional system. They're closing a lot of prisons here in California. They're just shutting them down. And they have the nerve to say, consistent with the 2021 Budget Act, the department closed dual vocational institutes in Tracy in September 21, achieving savings of $150 million. So by closing down all these institutions, they've saved $150 million.
So where do the criminals go?
You let them out. And more important, well, I shouldn't say more importantly, but equally importantly to employees is that by simply closing these facilities down, you've displaced a lot of people out of the workforce. The correctional officers, the medical staff, the teachers, the people who work in there, the janitorial, everything from the top, the warden, everyone from the top to the bottom is displaced.
So when they got this budget, they thought it was going to help them, right?
Yes,
because the people that worked there thought, oh, good, maybe we're going to get paid.
We're going to get some more money, but it's like it's just misleading and saying, well, we have more money to work with now. Well, you close down all the facilities. That's why you have more money. So some of that money, where is $5 million going to? Is going to the bachelor's degree expansion for the inmates.
Oh, so they can get a degree. Wait. So I had to pay for my bachelor's degree. But if I would have gone to prison, I could have got it for free?
If you had gone to prison, you could have got your bachelor's degree for free.
Wow.
If you had committed a white-collar crime, you can't commit any other crimes.
Where would I have gone to learn how to drink, though?
True.
I mean, that's what college was for, right?
True.
That's what I'm saying.
Right. Wow. Okay, it's to permanently fund bachelor's degree programs at 7 institutions in collaboration with the California State University system. And that's weird. Because it's hard to get into the UC system here in California.
Was that the UC or the California State?
California State.
So that's like where I went. San Diego State, Cal State, Long Beach, things like that.
But it's like they're using the prisons. Similar to the UC system here, we use our junior colleges because for some reason their classes coincide with the UC system. So you can matriculate from a junior college into a UC school, UCLA, UC Santa Barbara, something like that. The state system, the California state system, matriculates from the jail into the California state school system. So you said you went to a state school?
I did.
You sure you didn't go to prison first?
Actually, San Diego State now is really hard to get into, believe it or not.
And then there's another program called Delancey Street. And I'm sorry I'm not looking up. I'm reading this as I'm looking here. The budget established the Delancey Street Restaurant Management Program at California State Prison, Solano, which will provide participants with the skills needed to operate a full-service restaurant. So once you get out of prison, you can operate a full-service restaurant.
I don't mind this stuff. You know why? Because if you're in there for a crime and you're going to get out, I'd rather have somebody who's educated, ready to hit the ground and earn a living when they get out.
Absolutely.
Not just learn how to be a criminal.
But then the argument...
I hear what you're saying. Why are we paying for our tax dollars? But I think I'm playing the devil's advocate here.
Yes.
It benefits the society here to have people that can matriculate out of prison and contribute to society.
Absolutely. I agree. So as long as you're playing the devil's advocate, what do we do with our veterans who served our country, and some of them are homeless and some of them don't have a job? Why isn't some of that money going to them who've already served their country in some capacity?
Should be. You do learn a trade when you're in the military, and it should translate out. I understand there's a lot of veterans that come out and they're not helped mentally, and they end up on the street. So yeah, money should absolutely be going to that.
Okay.
But that's not a California budget. That should be that's one of the things that the country, the national system, should take care of, because they're serving the country, not their state.
Okay.
I'm just,
I agree.
Two different funds.
Money is also going to the Cellular Interdiction program, $12.6 million in general funds. And what this does is it's an enhanced managed access system to block contraband cell phone usage within 20 prisons. The enhanced technology will stop calls and texts, including on newer technologies such as 5G networks. So what happens is...
So they don't want you talking to the outside.
Right, but the mere fact that criminals have phones.
I know.
And I can't divulge where I get a lot of my information from. I'm sure you can get a hint where I get a lot of my information from. A lot of these prisoners have cell phones. And where they get them from, they don't know. People come in with backpacks.
Sneak them in.
They sneak them in. And then it's very similar to a lot of moves you say. Money trickles downhill.
Well, plus they run their criminal enterprise from the prison.
Right. And I heard something with the drug and fentanyl. Is like now they're putting drugs inside dead birds.
Wow.
Like they'll cut a bird open, put the drugs in, and throw them over into the yard.
I think I saw that in a movie.
And the prisoners will say, "Oh, look, a dead crow." 85 million annually for 3 years in competitive grants to local law enforcement to combat organized retail crime, so Californians and businesses across the state can feel safe. So
that's okay.
Yeah.
So far,
it's good stuff.
Yeah. So far, I think they're allocating the money correctly, which is surprising in California.
Right.
But I'm sure you're going to hit me with something that's...
No, there's some good ones in here.
Yeah.
A $25 million one time for the Board of State and Community Corrections to establish a competitive grant program to support local gun buyback programs. Now that's going to the city. Now this works in conjunction with what just happened here, the tragedy that happened in Monterey, where we had a gunman kill 10 people at a dance hall in nearby Monterey. And a lot of blue states especially talk about this a lot. They said, let's have a weekend, a Saturday, where we collect all the guns, all the AK-47s and all the assault rifles. And we always come with the same thing, is that, do you really think the bad people are going to turn in their guns?
Right. Yeah.
They're not going to.
Only the good people that turn them in.
And I'm trying to find the exact statistic. Here's a grant. It's a grant for missing and murdered indigenous people. California is one of the largest Native American populations in the United States, and research has shown that indigenous people experience violence and trauma at disproportionately higher rates than the general population. To address these disparities, The budget includes $12 million general fund over 3 years for the Board of State and Community Correction to establish a competitive grant program to help California tribes, you can't say that word anymore, first of all, California tribes locate and identify missing indigenous persons.
I have a question, though. And I don't know. I honestly don't know. Is it similar to what people don't like to call the black on black crimes, that most of the murders committed against black people are done in gang-related black shootings by other blacks? Are the indigenous people being harmed within the tribe, if we can say tribe, or do they suspect that they're getting targeted outside of indigenous people?
It didn't go into detail about that, but the fact that you're setting, and here's the saying I always say that urges people, all lives matter.
No, I know, but I'm just wondering. So we're taking money, and we're cherry picking and giving it to a certain group of people. Mm-hmm. Again, we're segregating, and I know that Native Americans, it's a whole different thing because they have separated into their own country within a country.
Right.
My question is: are we spending this money from quote our country because it's people outside of the tribes that are kidnapping and doing the bad stuff to the
tribes? I don't know.
Or is it within and should be policed by the tribes themselves? I'm just asking. That's an honest question.
I think the second option is, I would go for that. And like this is, if you guys want to separate yourselves from our country as a whole, then you should have some type of system in place.
Well, they do, but that's what I'm saying. Why are we spending money if it's an intertribal thing?
Right.
Since we do have that system in our country where we basically told them they could have their own country within a country. If that's the case, then I would think that if this was happening to indigenous people and it was happening especially by whitey, that we would hear it on the news all the time. So the fact that I don't hear it on the news all the time, I'm thinking this might be an intertribal thing. And in that case, are we just going to donate that money to the police forces within the tribes?
I don't know.
Yeah, so I'm just curious.
I don't know.
And the only reason I'm educated on that is because I watch Yellowstone, so I see that.
Yes. And it's similar to all the money that was raised by BLM. It's like, where did that $90 million go to help?
Yeah, well, that was
Black lives?
That was a grift because they were getting it from people donating, think they were giving it to a good cause, and then they found out they're just giving it to an organization that wants to break up the nuclear family.
Right.
Come on, I know you have some good stuff in here.
Well, I got this from a source. I can't divulge my source.
I know.
But there's also a large sum of money, and this individual said they'll try and get me the exact numbers later. That they couldn't divulge them now. There's a large money to go to aid inmates in the gender transition.
There it is.
Process. So a lot of that money on tax, especially you Californians.
That's the shoe I was waiting to drop.
Yes, especially you Californians. A lot of your tax dollars is going to, and we hear this story over and over and over again. The transgender male. We don't want to say transgender male. Yeah, it's a fake male. Transgender female. That gets put into basically a person born biological male. Now that they've transitioned, now they can make a request to be transferred to the women's prison.
Right.
And this just happened recently. I can't remember the exact, I don't know if it was Solano. I think it was Solano or it was Vacaville, where 3 female inmates have gotten pregnant. Who saw that coming?
So our tax dollars here in California, I mean, there's only a limited number of resources out there. I mean, we pay taxes. In California, we have some of the highest taxes for everything. Not sales tax. So you go to a state like Tennessee, Texas, Florida.
You keep rubbing that in.
Their sales taxes are higher. Why? Because they don't charge an income tax, and they still have to have money to go to these different outlets. Let's say. So you want to be able to put the criminal somewhere.
Right.
But, and here's the big but.
That's where you get kicked.
Why are we taking that money? Again, I don't mind the problem where you take these lower-end criminals, not the violent criminals, but the ones that, when they get out, we want them to contribute to society so that the system can still function. Why are we taking money and spending it on hormones and surgeries just because somebody feels that they're a different sex? For one, you're in jail. You did something wrong. You should be punished.
Right.
You shouldn't then be able to say, well, take away the whole thing that they're going to women's prisons. that, okay, we're going to pay for you now to take the hormones so you can keep pretending on being something that you're not, biologically. I don't care what anybody you want to say. Anybody can live any way they want. But why should I pay for Cedric, who's been wanting to do this, to get a boob job,
Kind of flat. Kind of flat.
And then the secondary thing is then they take these men and they move them to women's prisons. It's just...
Yeah.
I mean, believe me, if I got caught doing something and I had to go to a prison, I'd probably prefer to be in a women's prison.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and we saw this coming, but then they raise a stink, and it's kind of like they want us to put the blinders on and say, how dare you notice that?
Yeah, no, I know.
This is what I call the cooking the numbers segment. So the crime was going up in all these different areas in different cities, and we'll go back to that. Here are the arrest rates per 100,000 population. The 2021 total arrest rate of over 2 million is 7.3% lower than 2020. So the arrest rates in 2021 was lower than 2020. That's good news.
Or they just weren't arresting people.
From 2020 to 21, the adult and juvenile total arrest rate decreased 6.8 and 24.9% respectively. And the total felony arrests decreased 2.7% in 2021. As Brian said in the beginning...
So 2020 was the worst year.
The summer of love in 2020, when things were going amok, and I know this happens in California, especially in Los Angeles, when in debriefing sessions in the morning, before the captain talks to the cops and they go out on their beat, they are being told to ignore certain things.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's not that because we know
this
crime...
This is how you cook the numbers.
Yeah, because we know crime is up.
Yeah.
But then they say arrests are down. It's because, like you said...
No one's arresting.
Oh, it's in like New York City. They won't arrest you now for jumping a turnstile to get on the subway, and they're wondering why the subway is failing. Because you got to pay for the subway. So if they just let people jump over and not pay for it, people say, oh, it's only a few, but the more and more that do it, then people are going to say, well, I'm a freaking sucker, man. I ain't paying for the damn subway. I don't care if it's only $3. And then it goes bankrupt. Now you have no more subway. So it hurts the people that it's serving.
Absolutely. And I'm sure you guys remember in 2020, they wanted it was the whole defund the police, but that happened in 2021, right? Yeah, let's defund the police. And what did they want to replace them with? Social workers. Let's send social workers out. And for those of you who've been watching our channel for a little bit, we did a reaction video to Hardy, Wait in the Truck. Got a lot of reactions from that, a lot of reactions. Police officers will tell you themselves that one of the most dangerous calls they go on is the domestic violence call.
Well, we just lost a sheriff.
Yeah, we lost a sheriff because of that. Mm-hmm. Because what happens normally is that this woman, and please understand what I'm saying here. I know a lot of women and men, because every time you leave something out, someone calls you on it in the comment section. You can't win.
You can't say generalities anymore.
Yeah, the vast majority of women who are in these bad situations and they're being pummeled by these men who shouldn't be pummeled. They call the cops. The cops come out. She changes her mind because one, maybe she really does love him. Two, she feels trapped because if you take him away, he's her source of income and feeding the kids that they have. And three, they're going to take him down to the station, let him go. He's going to come back, and she's going to be in worse trouble than she was before.
I know. I had a brother-in-law who was a cop, and he said, those are the calls that we do not want to go on because, yes, you go out there, and a lot of times it's because a neighbor hears it. They're usually in like apartment complexes, things like that. A neighbor hears it. You go in there. The woman is getting knocked around, but she, for whatever reason, and we've said this is a mystery, she loves the guy. So the cops go and they pin the guy down, and then next thing we know, the girl's got a scissors and stabs the cop in the back.
Yeah. It's a damn shame.
Damn shame. And then I just watched, I watched Blue Bloods. They had this thing on there, and the girl kept getting beat, and the cops finally went and did the right thing, and they pinned the guy down. And during the struggle, this was on The Rookie. I know, I watch all these cop shows. And the gun from the cop got taken by the woman, and the woman was holding the cop at gunpoint. And she's like, I'm just trying to help you. And she's like, no.
Did she call?
No, a neighbor called, but they'd already seen this woman 3 times being beat up, so they knew there was a history. And yet, yeah, it's no win for these cops. So then back to what Cedric was saying, what if you send a social worker to one of these situations that have no training in fighting or anything like that? They're going to be...
with just their clipboard and pen.
Yeah.
Now here's the thing. We've shared with you some statistics. We've showed you what's going on. We showed you how the inmates are being codified, basically, and just nurtured and spoon-fed inside the prison system for creating drastic crimes. Maybe I'm too old school in this and I watch too many movies like you have, but I think they can be put to better use. One of my favorite movies of all time is Life with Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence, and that's set back years and years ago, late 60s. But especially in California, I went to downtown LA this past weekend, graffiti everywhere, trash everywhere. How come they're not out there taking paint and you buy a couple scaffolds and you have officers standing there with rifles and guns? I'm being serious. And they paint and they pick up trash and they do something constructive to help society. But it's like they're laying in their, what do they say, 3 hots in a cot? Yeah. They're in prison and they're getting all these benefits.
I know. I just watched, this one was Blue Bloods, by the way. I just watched an episode last night, and it was a guy who finally got out, and the police officer who arrested him felt bad because he thought he got too much time for the crime that he did. And so he helped the guy get back into society. He got him a job and everything. Next thing he knows, the guy is holding a bunch of people at gunpoint. He's like, "What are you doing?" He goes, "I can't handle it out here. At least I have security when I was inside. I got fed. I had a place to sleep. I don't know what to do out here."
Right. Yeah. But you should, and when we say this about everything, the reason that we have the smash and grabs, and the reason we have all these crimes is because a lot of these criminals know that there aren't any real consequences. Yeah. They know they're going to get slapped on the wrist, go in, fill out some paperwork, spend 3 or 4 days in jail, and because it's overcrowded, they're let back out on the streets again.
Remember the days when they turned big rocks into little rocks?
Yeah.
Because then you don't want to do that. Nobody wants to spend all day breaking up rock. I think in Life, weren't they doing that? They're just breaking things up. But it was a deterrent. Now it's, especially with a lot of this gang life, it's not a deterrent. Now you have your gang inside. You're getting fed. You got a place to sleep. And you're with all your homies. Yeah.
Ooh, look at you.
Oh, homies.
Homies, good job.
Wow.
Fella.
Yeah, it's like I was born yesterday.
Right. But that was one of my all-time favorite movies again. If you guys watched some of our earlier videos before we started doing political stuff, we did a all-time favorite movies thing. One of my favorite movies of all time is Shawshank Redemption. Now, despite the corruption of the warden, those prisoners were out there, like you said, they were digging ditches and they were cleaning rocks and they were doing construction work. Is it cheap labor? It's probably the cheapest labor you can get. But one, they're being punished for their crime, and two, they're serving society in a way. They're giving back.
Yeah, probably because the lawyers got a hold of this, and now it's considered cruel and unusual or some kind of legalese, and we get these criminals that don't have to do this stuff because of, I'm telling you, it's the lawyers.
Yeah, but
I know all you lawyers watching this.
But they should be held at some. It's in our school systems are like that. If you think about schools, it's almost like someone said it's based off the prison system. They stay in a little section, a bell rings, they all get up, they go to chow, sit down, eat, bell rings, they get up, go to the next class, and they sit there and they're quiet all day. But and that provides some structure. I get it, but I'm all for, and similar to the movie in Shawshank Redemption, I'm all for them being able to read. And I think they have teachers in there as well. They teach them their ABCs and help them get their bachelor's degree. But after they're doing that, they should be out and about in the community serving some type of useful purpose.
Yeah, no, I get it. And like you said before, I think that's how prison should be, because they talk about rehabilitation, all that. Okay, make it like a school. They get up, they have to go take classes. They don't have a choice. They go sit in it, and I know it's going to be disruptive or whatever. Or their other choice is make big rocks into little rocks. So they'll have that choice. Either go do some hard labor, or you can sit and learn. Maybe that's the model that we should have.
Yeah.
So anyway,
what do you guys think?
This was long.
What do you guys think? I mean, we our states, we send a lot of money to these prison systems. A lot of that money is being used on useless stuff, in my opinion. What do you guys think the money should be used for? And most people have two resources. They have time and money. What can the money be used for, and how can the inmates better use their time while they're serving prison time?
They can help fix our streets.
The pothole crew. Yeah.
Something.
Get out there and
again, these are nonviolent criminals, so that we don't have to worry about, but it could take your lower criminals that maybe they got busted for something petty. Right. But instead of just letting them out, which Kamala Harris wants to just let them out, let's say all the the peaceful protesters, make them fix potholes.
Right. And the people who are yelling at us right now, because I know we're going to miss this, If they fix the potholes, what about the contractors who do that? What do they do? I don't have an answer for everything. There's one thing. I'm just saying that the inmates should be doing something a little more constructive.
The contractors oversee it, and then this money that we're throwing into this pot, they get paid that for those things. So they get paid. The contractor gets paid. Obviously, the inmate's not going to get paid. That's part of his doing his time. There, it's a win-win, right?
But the
take part of that $26 billion and give it to the contractor.
But how does the general contractor hire an American worker who wants to put food on his table?
That's true.
That's what they're yelling at us about right now. I can feel it.
Well, yeah. I mean, you divvy it up. The ones that nobody really wants to do, when it's 100 degrees out and working with tar, those are the things for the politicians, the guys with the pointy hats to figure out.
That's not our job. Not our job. Okay. All right, you guys.
My job is just to make shit up. I'm sorry, stuff up.
Stuff up. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Clayton Bigsby. What the heck? Hope you guys enjoyed that video. Leave your comments in the comment section and let us know what you think, how prisoners and the money could best be used. Make sure you like, subscribe, ring that bell, and continue sharing our channel with everyone you know, which we know you're doing because
we're growing.
5 or 6 times a day we get hey, just found you guys. Didn't know you existed. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. We like that. Continue being good to each other. Until next time, I'm Cedric.
And I'm Brian.
Go to Mississippi.